Okay, I can see that the class is becoming more popular. Very popular. No problem, no problem. I know that people will still come in. Good to see you again, Martin.
As Mr. said, it's nice weather outside, so...
Yes, yes. We should do the same, maybe we should have class outside. Okay, so welcome to week number 9. Week number 9, our first day, we're going to dedicate to doing more exercise about what we saw last week. Okay, so today will be about exercises around exceptions. We have that list, which last time we covered exercise number 1. I demonstrated that. Today we're going to progress on that. I'll give another chunk of time for you to do exercise 2. I'll demonstrate exercise 2. Then you can carry on with the additional exercises. I'll most likely not be demonstrating here the exercise, but I'll provide a solution. We're going to be doing 1 or 2 quizzes today, just as practice for the quiz next class, okay? But I'll remind you about quiz next class a little bit later. So, first to get started, again, we can just jump in. So, let's go to Centennial under week 8. You can go to programming exercise 08. There, we have done first one last week. Let's start with exercise 2. Let's carry on. And again, I'll give you time, then I'll stop, I'll demonstrate, and we carry on with the other ones as well. Any questions? Okay, so let's get going, and I'll be walking around. I'll be assisting whoever needs some help, but let's practice a little bit more exception handling. What is that? We're continuing the same document, yes. The same set of exercises. If you have done by any chance, you can continue doing the other ones, but if not, you can carry on. I'll go there. I'll go there. Yeah, I'll be there in a second. It's better if I...
No problem. So I had an emergency last class, so I had to leave. And then my friend Jennifer sent me your quote, and I was trying just to understand what happened here.
Got it.
Yeah, and the way it's written here, I can only exceed 2 catches, not this first one. only this one with negative numbers, and this one every time the position is greater
than 4.
But this one, I don't know how to
How to get this one? So argument accept. So this. Okay. So basically, this exercise, what you see there, the code, is beyond the exercise 1, because I finished exercise 1, and then I said, okay, let me explain this. And then I kept adding to the code. Yeah. So what you see here is more than what the exercise is asking. Yeah. But, so for this catch here, yeah, there's no exception here showing handling this one. It's just that you...
here, right, to argument.
It could be, yes. And then it would no longer catch this one here, it would catch this one right here, argument exception. So what I was just trying to demonstrate is the fact that you can have multiple catches with catching different types of errors. Yes, we're not throwing this one here at all in this example.
When do I use this exception?
This exception, argument exception. Actually, here, because as I progressed with the other class, I changed this a little bit over the week. So we have index out of range. So instead of argument exception, let's use another one. Let's use division by 0 exception. Okay. Because then it's a more obvious one. That here's there. Okay. So how this happens? You just divide anything here by 0, and you're gonna get to that exception.
But let me run this one. So which position of
what do we want to do?
For example, this? And
no. Okay. No, because this is just a position. So go back to the code. So this code right now, it doesn't have a division by 0. So you have to add a line there that divides something by 0, or something that because you try to divide by 0, but maybe try to divide what I did with some other sections. If you stop the codes, just hit enter, just close it, and then let's say in the next line here after the if block.
After the if block.
So let's say that you put something like this: int e equals to let's say 4 divided by and then open parentheses there. Let's say put 2 minus position. 2 minus position.
Like this? No.
Sorry, not position here. This position.
Oh, position.
Yep, the variable. So in this case, when you type positions 2, this will become 0, and then it will trigger the exception.
Okay. So
okay, give it a try.
All right. So this, and then 2.
Let's see.
And then all right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did.
Got it. You just have to change a little bit the message there because it's no longer argument error. Go back there to the code. Okay. This one here, see, it's a different one. But that's the idea. It's just showing.
Divide by 0.
Yeah, you can put something like that, divided by 0. Yep. Okay. So again, just catching different types of errors. Okay? Make sense? Yeah. We are on week 9. What is that? Yeah, it does not. So we have 7 weeks before, 7 weeks after. And then we have the reading week in the middle. Okay? Yep.
I'm not sure what's going on, but it's the first exercise.
Okay.
I'm stuck in the loop.
That's fine.
No matter what I put in. Like even if I put in something within range.
Okay, that's fine. Let's have a look there. Okay, so while you stop, okay, so I'm gonna try to get the input. Okay, so what you're missing there? So inside the loop, you have to ask for the user to type in something. So you just ask the first time, but inside the loop, after each goal, you have to ask again and again and again. You have to keep asking that, because otherwise you don't have a chance here. You are not given a chance here for the user to input. Got it?
Yeah, but I mean, look at your example. You didn't have it in there.
Scroll down. I have right here. Here. Oh, okay, so this is the first scroll down. Scroll down. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. See, it's in the finally, you see?
Okay.
So finally always run. So I'm asking here, see? Select the position. So I'm asking again. So it keeps going until I press 99.
Oh, okay, so I can force it that way.
Yep. Okay?
I'm getting confused here in the question.
Yep.
Here is this one class? It's an existing class? Because
Yeah, so it's just saying that argument exception is an existing type of error. So it's already, it's like division by 0, okay?
so we have to name the project as swimming
Yes,
water
yes, you can do that, okay?
What's a shortcut?
Oh, you know?
Yeah, shift and tab.
Shift tab and then shift control tab, it does the opposite. So one goes forward,
No, you need to.
yeah, so select, then do the control. So that's the shift tab, got it. Shift tab goes back and then just tab goes forward. Got it, okay, good. I got your email, I still have to check, okay?
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Okay, I'm going to take a quick attendance here. Ahmed, Aslan, Amin Patel, Brandon, Carl Huang, Clara, Dhruv, Gunit, Ilasong, Jasmine, Jennifer, Joanna, George, Joshua, Karina, Martin, Mary Christine, MD Hilal, Mustafa, Nita, Nihal Kumar, Pawan Preet, Saima, Sagar Kumar, Shaminda, Shima, Sinran, Sayed, Tanvi, Teresa, Tomoy, Tony Lin, Yonga, Yusuf, Nita? Is that Nita? Saima. Okay, sorry. Saima. No problem. Okay, so you had a chance to do some stuff there. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to do it. Okay, so again, let's make this interactive. If you have a question while I'm demonstrating, please ask. Hopefully this gives a chance for you to give it a try, and whatever is not fitting well there, you're going to fill out that gap as I go through the demonstration, okay? Okay, so here we have our Visual Studio, new project. So let's just start here. Argument exception is an existing class. What this means is that argument exception is one of the many, sorry? Yeah, it's a built-in. Yes, it's a built-in exception. So you can just refer to that. You can just catch that, okay? And it happens when, well, in arguments, a parameter is out of range from an expected range. So, but this time around, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be checking the parameters going to this method. And if the parameter is too outside of the permitted, of the allowed, then we're going to throw an exception, okay? And we're going to, similar to exercise 1, we're going to be constantly asking the user for their inputs until the user decides to quit and put a code there that will allow them to quit the application, okay? Okay, so let's see. So an exception, you use it when one or more of the method's arguments do not fall within an expected or accepted range. Create an application named swimming water temperature containing a variable that can hold a temperature expressed in degrees in Fahrenheit. So for us, it will be a little bit strange. I cannot convert automatically to Fahrenheit, but let's just believe that those are, I'll make a Celsius version of that at some point. Within the class, create a method that accepts a parameter for the water temperature and it returns true or false. True indicating that the water temperature is between 70 and 85 degrees, thus comfortable for swimming. If the temperature is between 32 and 212, the freezing and the boiling points of water is not in between, sorry. If it's not in between that, it means that it's invalid. So if it falls outside of this range, it's invalid. It doesn't mean that it's no longer comfortable. I mean, we have one range that is comfortable, and then, which is this, and then another range that is valid, okay? And after that, it becomes invalid, okay? So if it falls outside of 32, between 32 to 212, it becomes invalid, and we throw an exception of that type, of an argument exception, okay? In the main method, continuously prompt the user. Look at the keyword here, continuously. So you're going to keep asking, continuously prompt the user for the data temperature, pass it to the methods, and then display a message indicating that the temperature is comfortable within that small range, not comfortable, which goes beyond that range, or invalid, which goes way outside of the 32 to 212, okay? So we have two ranges there, inside, outside. So again, inside comfortable, here valid but uncomfortable, and beyond that, just invalid, okay? Any question about understanding the exercise? Okay. I have Padlet open here. If anyone wants to ask a question there, I'll be monitoring that as well. So I have created the project here. So let's start from the top here. We're going to start, so in the main, we're going to ask the question, okay? The loop will stay in the main, the question will stay in the main. The method will just be responsible to validate and to tell me, hey, this is good temperature, this is uncomfortable temperature, this is invalid temperature. That's the role of the method that you're going to be creating, okay? So let's say that we have an int here that is the temperature, which we can leave it at that for now. We're going to ask the user to input that temperature here, okay? But last time, in the previous exercise, we have used int.or, double or int.what. Which method did we use? Parse, wasn't it? Let's use a different one this time. We have another option there. Who can tell me what's the other option that we could be using as well? We can use try parse. What is the difference between try parse and parse? What is that? It doesn't crush. So if I put an invalid value there, if you just use parse, it will crash the application. It will trigger an exception. If I use try parse, it will try to convert. If it cannot, it doesn't break the application, okay? So let's use try parse just to provide an example of another way that you could approach this, okay? So let's say int.tryparse. Actually, for that, we need to change a little bit here, because tryparse, what is the return value of tryparse? It's a Boolean. It's true or false, okay? So we're going to do something slightly different here. We're going to say we can use tryparse independently, but then we're going to use temperature as the output parameter of tryparse, okay? So we're going to say console.readline. So we're going to read some inputs from the user. We're going to try to convert that to temperature. Out, yes, of course. Yeah. So that is an output parameter. We send a value in. It comes out with the converted value if it was successful, okay? So let's just assume that it was successful, and now we have the temperature. We're going to have to enter into a while loop. And because the number 99 can be a valid temperature, let's use another number. Let's use 999, so 3 nines. So let's say that our stop is a constant int called stop, and it's equals to, so if we type 999, it will quit the loop. Okay, so we're going to say, well, this is just a stop point. Stop point. So if I just put, I have to put an integer, okay? So I can say while temperature different from stop. Keep doing what? Now, let's put a message there, so just for the user to see what's being prompted. So let's say console.write, and then we're going to say so it will enter, and then we're going to loop here, and now we're going to take care of calling our methods, okay? So our method, let's call it, is there any names that it asks here? No. So I'm going to say, I'm going to make it private. I don't care any other class to use this for now. Private, it has to return a Boolean, true or false, okay? So it will return a Boolean. The name, I'll call it check temperature. And here I'm going to have an integer value. I'm going to call it temperature as well. And I'm going to do the checks inside, okay? Okay, so what is it checked? What is it checked? That the first one that we need to do? Well, we need to check if it's between 70 and 85, okay? So I'm going to do this check first. I'm going to say, I'm going to define a local variable here. I'm going to say Boolean. And I'm going to initialize this as false. Then I'm going to say, if okay, so I will check if it's within the range. Okay, so if temperature is greater than, and I'm going to include the limits here. So if it's greater than 32, sorry, not 32, sorry, greater or equal to 70, and temperature lower or equal to 85, then I'm going to say comfortable equals to true. Okay? So it's within that range, it's comfortable. Well, we have false already here, but again, and because it's just one line, we can even get rid of this. So it's just one line. So on if statements, if it's just one line, you can just get rid of the curly braces. I can put an else here, but again, it would be, this is already set to false here in any case, but this will help to make things a little bit more clear. Okay? Now, at the very bottom, I have to return comfortable. Yep. And then, this is not finished yet, but what's complaining here? Yeah, okay, whatever. I'm going to say something like this. If temperature, check temperature, so if this returns true, I'm going to give a message here. I'm going to say console.write what is that? Oh, it's a static. is a static one, because this is a static, so I have to make this method static as well. So static. And I'm going to say else. Okay, so we have the methods, we are calling it here, we are checking, temperature is good, temperature is not good. We have to keep asking for the information again. Okay, so at the bottom, I'm going to keep asking, what is the next temperature? And I'll keep asking that, okay? Now, this is the case that we're not yet handling the exception, the one that it's outside, okay? So let's just give this a try and see if at least it's working for now. Let's see. Okay, temperature, let's say 67. Temperature is not good. So what is the good temperature here? It's between 78, okay, so 72. Temperature is good. And again, keeps asking the temperature, okay? If I put outside, everything is not good. But again, if I put it too low or too high, we have to trigger an exception, okay? So let's do that. So 999, and we should quit, yes. Let me see if there is any questions here. No, that's fine. Any questions so far? Again, we didn't touch yet on the exception. Okay, for the exception, actually, something here that I should not be doing, and I did. I should have those magic numbers as constants, okay? So let's make that adjustment. So let's say that we have const. Let's say const int low comfort. So low comfort here, let's set to 70, and then high comfort, we're going to have to 85. So you're going to be using those constants instead of these. Okay. Now, who can give me, I would say, some directions here? Up a little bit more for this part. Okay, but we have now to check the temperature here. So let me maybe reduce the font a little bit. Is that still visible? Okay. Is that for the back ones? Is that okay? For you guys at the very back, is it still okay? Yeah? Okay, so then what? Now I need to check the outside ones. So where should I start? Give me some guidance here. Give me a hint. So should I check for the other ones before? Should I check after? Because I need to do another check. I need to check if it's outside of the far edges, okay? So should I do it before this if or after that? It doesn't matter too much, but maybe before, because then we take care of that already. Because if it's already outside of that range, it doesn't matter. We don't even need to do this other check, okay? So we could do outside, but let's create two more constants because we have to now store the edges, okay? So low, what is that? It could be there. So again, it doesn't matter too much what you call, as long as you call something that makes sense. So I'm going to say that if temperature is, and I will use equals as well, so I'm going to say if temperature is lower than or equal to, and I have to adjust the values there, it's 32 and 212. So if temperature is lower or equal to the edge, should I do an and or or? Or. So or temperature is less than or equal to high edge comfort, then what? I'm just putting some then we're going to throw the exception, okay? So remember the keyword throw. Throw, we're going to be forcing, we're going to be creating an exception, okay? So I'm going to say throw new, and then what's the name of the exception? Argument exception. And I can pass a message. I can say invalid value. Remember, yes? Yes, you're right. You're definitely right. So this is supposed to be lower or equal to, and this should be higher or equal to the high edge. Thank you for that. Yep. So when we throw this exception, here's what happens. This line, the code stops at this line. It skips whatever comes after that, and it goes back to whoever is calling this. Who is calling this? The main method is calling this right here. So if we throw an exception here, the control of the application flow, of the program flow, goes back to whoever is calling that, and there, here, I should be using the try-catch block to be able to handle this potential exception. So, not going to write it right now. I'm just going to run this the way it is. So, if I say something like 72, 74, it's good temperature, 85, 86, good temperature. Now, if I go too high, it's at 90. Okay, so I don't know, 100. How much is it here? Oh, yes, yes, of course. Yes, so 212. So 213. So now we are getting an unhandled exception. Look, it tells us what is the line that is causing that. Okay? So now we have to handle this exception. We have to we're going to have to put the try-catch block inside of here, okay? So we're going to put around the entire if statement, okay? And then you can say catch And then the exception is this one here. Catch this exception, call it error, and then we can use error inside of our catch. I can say something like this. Console.writeLine and then I can say error.message. This message should be this one here that we set, okay? Let's give this a try. Okay, so if I try to run this, so if I put a comfortable temperature, temperature is good. So 6, 7, temperature is not good. And then if it's too low, like 12, error details, invalid temperature. Okay? And it keeps asking, again, until I put the key. So, what's up? Any sticking points? I'll give you a second if you want to write something there on Padlet. You can, I'll be checking that. If not, again, you can verbally ask me. This is an example of throwing an exception. Again, I'll just repeat this. When you throw an exception from a method, you don't need to, in a way, what you're saying is that, hey, this temperature is not accepted. Get back to whoever is calling that, and you handle that there. Whoever is calling that. Who is calling that? Well, the main method. The main method is calling check temperature. So the main method has to be the one validating that. If I'm the one calling, I better call with correct parameters. So whoever who has to handle the exception is who's calling that. Could I have handled the exception here? I could. But if I handle the exception here, let me ask you this. If I handle here, how could main know that this is an invalid temperature? I would have to change more stuff here because right now check temperature is just returning two values. True if it's comfortable, false if it's not comfortable. But if it's beyond the edges, how could it tell main that this is way beyond the edges? Well, we could make our code a little bit more complex and maybe return a 1 if it's comfortable, a 0 if it's not comfortable, and then a -1 if it's invalid. Could we have done that? We could. Again, in coding, there are always different ways to handle different situations. This is one with error handling, okay? And again, very, very used. I would not be hammering in a topic like this if this would not be useful to you, not only C#, but in any language that you come to work. Any language you come to work with, there will be exception handling there as well, okay? Yes? I can, I will. I'll put it on Padlet right now. And for the entire exercise set, 1, 2, 3, 4, I'll be sharing the codes as well on the Centennial, okay? So I'm gonna just copy the code right now. I'm gonna put there on Padlet. And you have it. Okay, take a quick 5 minutes if you need a break. So 5 minutes, we'll get back, and then we're gonna move on to a little quiz related to exceptions that will get you ready for the quiz next class, okay? 5 minutes, we'll get back.
acessar o pad, mas não sei porquê. Aí eu queria entender aqui se você pudesse me ajudar. Eu me perdi um pouco.
Oh, check that.
Não
Scroll down.
tá-
So, porque faltou aqui o private. Static private. Sorry, it's not that. Can you move the mouse over? Okay, scroll down all the way. Yeah. I think that, I don't know, you may have placed this outside of the class. What's happening here? Oh, okay, check temperature. No space.
Será que tá fora da classe?
Não, acho que não. Acho que. Tenta colocar. Try private.
Eu tentei. Mas não,
Scroll up.
não tá saindo. Ele tá reclamando alguma coisa aqui.
Yeah, eu acho que tem alguma. I think that there is something here. Maybe too much.
Deixa eu ver. Será que é
Scroll inside. No, that's okay.
Fechei, fechei.
It seems that there we have two here in the same level. See? Yep. There might be it. Yep. See.
Yeah. Let's try again. Can you check if I did it the right way? You were scrolling and I couldn't see this one, the catch part.
Yep. That's it.
Yes. And anything wrong?
Nope. That's okay.
It's okay.
Yep.
So let me try. 3. Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you.
If you came later and you didn't get your attendance, just let me know. Okay, I put yours. Jasmine, you didn't get your attendance, did you? No. And yeah, that's fine. I'll put your attendance here. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, before we jump to the quiz, we're going to be doing a quiz, quick quiz. Okay, let's do that. Come on, let's focus a little bit here. Again, the quiz is just, you can think of it as a warm-up for the next class. I'm going to repeat this. Next class, we're going to have a quiz, 8 to 10 questions about polymorphism, about inheritance, about abstract classes, about interface, and about exceptions. Let me mention this. Under week 9, on the Centennial, I put 3 links to 3 quizzes that you can practice for abstract classes, okay? So the answers of those quizzes, they will be given to you at the end of the quiz, so you can practice those topics that we covered. We recapped a little bit, actually quite a lot, last week. So recap from here. You can go to the content as well if you want to go in deeper readings. So use those as a practice, but we're going to use some quizzes right now for exceptions so we can recap some of this. But before we go there, let me just mention that I got an interview for the podcast with a very popular, developer at Microsoft. So it never hurts to ask. Never thought that this guy would consider being, talking to me. But hey, so his name is Scott Hanselman, and so he booked. Yeah, so you may not know the person, but yeah, he's very vocal. He's an evangelist at Microsoft. So yeah, I'm gonna ask him why he accepted my invitation. And again, if any one of you, have either a question that you'd like to ask, I can share his profile and you can have a look. So either a question or maybe a guest, someone that you say, you know what, I don't know, I follow this person, that person, this developer, and you like me to have a conversation, suggest. I'm always looking for interesting guests to bring to you. I mean, actually, I have to find the person interesting as well, but yeah, so again, it never hurts to ask, And he was very, within a few, 2-3 days, he came back to me and with a simple answer. I mean, my mail was like this, and his answer was, sure. Okay. And then I sent him a link to book, didn't hear back. That's fine, all good.
What of those people, what if they don't live in Canada?
What if they don't live in Canada? That's fine. I spoke with someone from the UK. Yeah, that's fine. I mean, we just.
So when you do the broadcast, is it like face-to-face?
No, I do via the web. So whatever is convenient to the person and within my schedule as well. So I recorded with someone from Microsoft last Saturday, 1 p.m. So, yeah.
And he's a software engineer.
This guy is, yeah, I don't know how much time he has to really code because he is an advocate. He is always talking. Again, I've heard him in person in a keynote speech in a Microsoft event a few years ago. Again, accessible guy, and again, you never know. Okay, so my recommendation is never think that, oh, I cannot apply to that job because they are asking this. Nope, just go for it. Go for it. Anyway, getting back here. So I think that we did already 2 sets of those quizzes. We did the warm-up and we did set 1. I'm going to jump to set 2 and 3 here. So let's start with set 2. Let's go for a live session here. And again, this is about exceptions. Give it a try. A few minutes there. Just going to put the code here. I think that everybody has pretty much finished already. So just a few non-answered yet. So let's get going here. So the exception class overrides to provide a descriptive error message so a user can receive precise information about the nature of any exception that is thrown. Which one? The question gives a great clue there. TrueString is actually, first of all, TrueString is a property or a method? A method, okay? So TrueString, so the exercise says, exception class overrides. Exception class comes straight from object. It's very typical for the TrueString to be overwritten by classes that inherit from it, okay? So it was a good one. Now, we do have a message. We do have. However, the message that we have for exception is what? A property. So there's no parentheses here, okay? In that property, okay? So TrueString we have. Okay, the exception class contains a read-only property named that contains useful information about an exception object. So this time around, it's a property. Property does not have parentheses. The one that TrueString, we know TrueString, yes, but it's a method, not a property. Property that we have is message, okay? The methods are used to convert string data to another type, such as integers, doubles, and booleans, without fear of generating an exception. We just did that. Try parse. And this is more of a tricky one. It's more about what makes most sense. I don't expect you to know that by heart. But is the type of exception automatically generated if there's a problem opening a file, reading data from a file, or writing to a file? Nope. 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 IO exception. Okay?
I guess this one, as I said.
Got it. My suggestion for something like this, I don't think I'll be asking something like this in the quiz, but hey, put that on Google, let Google answer that to you. Okay? Perfect. Okay, so that was one, and I want to quickly jump to the second one and final one that we have here. Let me see here, exceptions. And then that's the set number 3. Sorry, not this one, sorry. Okay, give it a try on this one as well. So is it showing or not? The code is up there. It's a new code. Okay, so I think that's, we have this done. So let me get the link. Okay. So how have we done? Okay. Half. Okay, I hope that this 40 increments after our conversation. Let's see. Okay, so typically you use the tararam block to perform cleanup tasks that must occur regardless of whether any errors occurred or were caught. Which block is that? Finally block, okay? Finally block will always run no matter what happens, okay? The memory location where the computer stores the list of locations to which the system must return to is known as, forcing a bit, here I didn't really mention that, but this is the stack of the memory, okay? So we have a stack of, when we call a method, that it calls another method, that it calls another method, it needs to know where it should return to. So this becomes a stack. In our example, in our exercise, we just had two locations. We had main, and we have the check temperature, okay? So this is the call stack. It stacks up the list of locations where you are calling from. You're calling that method, you're calling that other method, which calls the other method, which calls the other method. All of that is kept in the call stack. Okay, so when you catch an exception, you can print the value of the tararam property to display a list of methods in the call stack, so you can determine the location of the exception. So you have toString that shows a little message. You have message as well that shows, actually, message shows a short message. toString, I think it's a little bit longer. And then you have this one that shows a more complete, comprehensive message that is not useful for the end user, but it's useful for us as the developers of that code. Which one is that? There is a stack trace, and this is it's at the method property. Stack trace property that shows exactly which line of code the problem has occurred. We can just have a quick look at that here. Let's say that we, in our exercise, I'm just going to say stack details. And I can say error dot stack trace. And this will occur if we put the temperature above or below. So you see, error details here, invalid temperature, but then we have stack details. It shows the file, the line, gives you everything that you need to know where the error has happened in the codes, okay? Okay, so we're talking about stack trace. Last one here, the system of passing an exception through a chain of calling methods is called this. Look, we have a chain here. We have 2 links only, but we have a chain. We throw the exception here in check temperature, and then who's catching the ball? The ball is being caught by whom? By main. So usually, when you throw an exception, you don't catch that. Usually you throw that so somebody else can catch that, can catch the ball, can catch that exception, okay? So we have a chain here. One method connecting to the other one. This method here, check temperature, connecting to main, because main is the one that called it, okay? So this process of propagating the exception is thrown there, but then it goes all the way to the other one. This is called, I think I mentioned the keywords, propagating, okay? We are propagating the exception, okay? Great. Okay, so I would like you to return to the exercise. We have 3 and 4 there, so you can use the next 20 minutes to keep going there, okay? I want to mention that I have released the grading on assignment 2. I have released that on Saturday. If by any chance you did not get your grade, one of 2 things. You either did not submit the assignment or you did not join the correct group. So if that's the case, again, let me know. Send me a note, send me an email, a smoke signal, something that tells me that you did not get your grades, and then we can sort it out, okay? But I just wanted to explain. Most of you should have gotten your grades. Great, any questions? Again, get ready for the quiz next class. Get going here with exercise 3, and I'll be walking around. I'll be assisting whoever needs assistance, okay? Awesome. And if you have more important things to do, like go outside, enjoy the weather, you can as well, okay? Aslam, all good?
Yeah, Professor,
All relaxed and just having a good time?
I gave my car to the garage today. So I
Oh, so
got-
that's that after the hits that happened,
yeah.
yeah?
So I gave it today, and I got a rental car, so that's why I was late.
So it's better if it was not your fault.
Yeah, it's not
Okay,
my
good.
fault, It's not my $4,000 damage.
Really?
Yeah.
So the other person is
Yeah.
taking care of that?
No, the insurance company.
The insurance company?
Yeah.
But the other insurance company or your insurance?
My insurance company.
Your insurance? So they are not paying?
No, they. I don't know how they maintain.
Got it.
You see, this is my car.
Wow.
He hit me. He hit
Okay,
me.
wow.
So,
Where was that? Where?
it was a Danforth and
Danforth?
8.
Wow.
So I was on a I just crossed the traffic light.
Okay.
Then it was the in front of my car that stopped suddenly. I stopped suddenly, and I managed to stop because it was really hard.
Got it. But
And
then the other
guy,
person.
he couldn't do it.
He couldn't do
So
it.
I think he just crossed the light.
Wow.
And after that, he was speeding, and but
Got
he
it.
saw me stop, but he couldn't stop.
Got it.
Boom.
Okay, good luck
It
there.
was really hard.
Good luck there. Okay, you too.
So I never know what to put inside the try or outside the try. For example, I don't know.
Okay, so
For example, in this one, I also don't know if I should ask the person to
Inside the try.
the try or outside. I don't know if you.
okay, so you could that for example, this case here, you could have asked inside the try because then it would also catch the case that the person would put a letter instead of a number.
yes.
So you could have. Now, most likely the question was not asking for that specifically, but either put inside or outside, it could be okay as long as you handle this part here. You are handling well here. Okay, so that's this example. Show me the other one. Show me the other example that you had. So what would be the other option? Where else would you put try?
Because when I did it, I didn't do it while because in the question.
Inside, not inside the while, outside.
No, I didn't use this while.
So-
I used everything here.
So what
inside
else did you
the try.
use? If not the while, how would you be asking the user to repeatedly?
But I don't know if you ask that we do. The,
Actually, it does. It does that. If it's the last exercise, it does. Continuous prompt. See, continuously
continuous
prompt.
prompt.
Okay,
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, it does. So in this case, because it's not a continuously prompt,
Mm-hmm.
then I can use these two lines inside the try to catch this
Yeah, you
problem.
you could. Yeah,
Yeah.
this problem as well. It would catch that one as well. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
What's up?
I need to ask you something about. I see some offer in internet.
Okay.
And they asking about if you are you have some options, be proficiency in C#, in some another.
Okay,
How
languages.
how can I know or how can I say that I am proficiency in C#? What kind of things or what kind of skills I need to develop?
Okay, so when it
consider-
says proficiency, usually there is an implication of have you worked with it? Okay. Now, because usually proficiency comes from working in a professional environment with that language. Now, you can just ignore that and say, you know what I know, I think it's good enough, I'm gonna just try it.
Actually, I think they are not asking for proficiency, but it's like, no, I don't have this, but
Okay.
But it's about they are asking for students.
Okay, so they are asking for students. Is that students specifically?
Yes.
Okay, so they know that they should not expect a high level of experience and proficiency. They know that, okay? So my point is that what are you more comfortable with? I mean, which environment is it? Is that are you more Java, more C#? What is your thing?
In this case, I just know Java. Sorry,
C#
is the
They need someone with C# experience, with some C# knowledge.
they asking about. It could be C#, could be Java, could be Python, could be
Any one of those? So again, they are fishing for good people. They don't expect people to know every single one of those. As long as they know one of those, they are trying to get good applicants
Personal AI, if I know all the content we are revising
who are covering.
class and this semester, it should be good enough.
It should be good enough to get you going. Now, again, next semester will give you even more because you're going to go deeper into some aspects of C# regarding .NET Core, MVC. So it will even add more. But I think that what we have so far should be okay to go there. Okay?
I apply and I say,
Good luck.
I am good, but I am concerned about if they asking me, you are really good. I don't know if I want to say yes or no because I don't know if there is more content and I have to.
There's always more. Let me tell you this way. I mean, no matter what do you know, there's always more to be known.
Yeah.
But I think that even if they ask, I mean, unless they are specific and say, okay, answer this test here, then you have a look and you're gonna see what comes out of it. But with what you have enough content, enough ammunition to say, okay, I know C#. Okay. And of course, they're not asking if do you know everything about C#. No, they ask, do you know C#? You know C#. Anyone here that is relatively comfortable with so far should be able to answer that. Should answer that question as yes, I know C#.
Okay.
Okay?
Perfect.
No problem. Well, good luck there.
So for the meeting question, like if I can find the JSON file from here means it's workflow. Like
But open it. Yes, that's the format. Great. Yeah.
So it means it works. Okay.
Yes.
Another question is, I don't understand this part. For this one, if I use override, then the output is correct. But I don't know why if I use new, then the output is just.
Okay, it doesn't work, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so close it here.
Okay.
Can you go to the client codes?
This one.
Yeah, go to string there. Okay, so you see, toString gets called. When you call toString, it calls calculate price, correct?
Yes.
Now, if you say override, calculate price will be called the ones from the child.
Yeah.
But if you say new, that's why I say you lose the link. Because if you say new, calculate price, you are calling this calculate price here. This one,
It does not go there.
it doesn't go to the child. That's really it. That's why. Okay? Bye. What's up?
Version override. When you're trying to overload methods, can version override be like a way to distinct two methods?
Are we two?
Distinct two methods. So if you had let's say you have two identical methods.
Yep.
If you put virtual in one of them, is that enough to differentiate
No,
the two?
it's not.
It's not.
So it won't overload. It won't be a proper overload if you are doing that in the same class. It won't be enough. If you have the same signature, they are still the same one because the signature is the name plus the parameters. So whatever comes before the name of the method doesn't matter from an overloading perspective. There will still be, even one has virtual, the other one does not, you won't be able to compile because it's say, hey, you have declared the same method with the same parameters already. Virtual is really about the descendants, okay? So, but yeah, was that your question?
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
no problem. Okay, everyone, so I'll see you all next class, okay? Have a good week.